Our national anthem before today's starting lineups being introduced here at Brush High School. The girls set to tip off against Faith Christian, and again the boys are in Eaton. They will be taking on Eaton at 2:45 this afternoon. Here's how the teams got here for this afternoon's game. Brush was seeded 8th in the 3A girls tournament. They beat number 25 seed Bennett last night by the score of 79-47. And a game also played on this floor just a little earlier yesterday evening. Faith Christian beat University 55-33. Faith Christian comes into the tournament with a 15-7 record. They have the number 9 seeding, and they knocked off University, who is the number 24 seed. The winner of this game will go to the Great 8, the 3A version being played at the CSU campus in Fort Collins, and the winner of this game will face the winner of Holy Family in Florence in the first round of the Great 8 on Thursday. The other girls' teams that are on the Brush side of the bracket, Olathe and Berthoud, Trinidad and Pagosa Springs. On the other side of the 3A bracket, playing for their right to go to into next week's Grade 8, Matchbuff and St. Mary's, DSST and Rifle, Bayfield and Peak to Peak, Eaton and Manitou Springs. And that game is tipping off right now in Eaton, and the boys will be next up on the floor. Brush will be playing Eaton in the boys version at 2:45. John and Jen will be at that game, and we'll have that right after this game here on this Saturday afternoon. The Faith Christian Eagles have been introduced. The Brush Lady Beat Diggers being introduced to the home crowd. If you're nearby, head over right now to Brush High School and root on the ladies. The winner of this ball game goes to the Great 8 of the state tournament for 3A. That's coming up on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in Fort Collins. We have a reasonably good-sized crowd on hand, but we could sure use a lot more. There are plenty of open seats. Brush won the right to host this game by being one of the top 8 seeds in the state. So let's give them a home court advantage here today in Brush. If you're nearby, head over to Brush High School right now. Root on the Lady Beat Diggers. We are just about set to get underway. We've had the national anthem. The starting lineups have been introduced. The coaches, the officials are ready. The rooting section for the Brush Beat Diggers have the giant faces, much larger than life-size faces of the basketball players there to root them on. That's an interesting and original type of rooting section. I like that. So we will be set to tip things off. Brush will be wearing their home white. Again, they've won the right to host this pod of 4 teams, and they won yesterday over Bennett. Faith Christian beat University, and the winner of this will play next Thursday against the winner of Holy Family and Florence. That's tipping off in Denver right at the same time as this one. I'm Alec Creighton. We're set to go. Again, John Beltran and Jen Goodall are on their way to Eaton. They will have the boys game at 2:45, and the ball is in the air, and the opening tip controlled by Kristen Berg. The Beat Diggers will be going left to right. They'll be shooting at the basket in front of the Faith Christian bench here in the first half, and a pass goes awry. Kristen Berg trying to get it to the point guard and threw it all the way into the backcourt. So Faith Christian will throw it in near their own basket on the far sideline. Their opening possession, a three-pointer put up and swish to start the scoring. That's Abby Chapman from behind the three-point line, and it's quickly 3-0. 1-2-1-1 full court press being put on by the Eagles, and a foul in the backcourt by Brooklyn Long. The first foul in the ball game. We are in the first half minute of this game, and that foul on Brooklyn Long for the Eagles. The Beat Diggers will throw it in front of their own bench. Penetrating the paint is Guzman. Kicks it out to Berg. Berg with a bucket from 10 feet out. Nice penetration there by Guzman. Good kick out. And Berg converts for 2. 3-2 Faith Christian. Early going. Three-pointer from the corner by Long. Rimming around, no good. Rebound on the floor, out of bounds. Last touched by the Eagles. But they're going to give it back to the Eagles. They say they were able to throw it off the leg of one of the Beat Diggers. So Faith Christian throwing it in under their own bucket. Brooklyn Long going to shoot from three-point range, and she's off the back of the rim. Guzman pulls the rebound down for the Beat Diggers. We're 1 minute in to this game for the right to go to the Grade 8 of the state championship. Right side is Berg from 10, and she's got the range. She's hit a couple from there, and the Beat Diggers have their first lead of the afternoon, 4-3. We're just over a minute into the first quarter of this ball game. Faith Christian wears a color scheme very similar to the Beat Diggers. Faith is wearing their dark uniforms as the road team today. Their maroon is maybe a slightly lighter shade. In the lane is White. She's caught in there. She's been in there way over 3 seconds, but she turns around and shoots. That stops the timer. On the 3-second violation, her shot is off the back of the rim, goes out of bounds, and the Beat Diggers will throw it in against the Faith Christian Eagles 1-2-1-1 zone press. Almost a turnover. Guzman gets it ahead to White. White turnaround, picks up her dribble, stolen away as she tries to get it back to Guzman. Layup at the other end is good by Jenkins. Jenkins' first bucket gives the Eagles the lead back, 5-4 at the other end. Shot is up, no good by Nichols, and rebound out of bounds to the Eagles. The Beat Diggers are not going to press. They will fall back into a 1-3-1 zone defense. 6 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. Faith over Brush, 5-4 at the moment. Both teams have had the lead briefly here. Turnaround in the lane, no good. Rebound by Faith Christian, put back up by White. Got her own rebound, turns around, tries to fight it up again. Guzman strips it away. Now it's outside to three-point shot by Jenkins. That's no good. Berg with the rebound for the Diggers. 5.5 to go here in the opening quarter. Faith leading Brush 5-4. Girls basketball now, boys basketball to follow just a little bit later this afternoon. Both playing for the right to go to Fort Collins next Thursday to continue on the state tournament bracket. Guzman out to the corner. That is a shot put up by Emily Monarch, and it was blocked out of bounds before she even actually was able to get it above shoulder high. Kennedy Guzman will throw it in under the Digger bench. Looking, gets it into Berg, who has 6 points. This was in the lane from about 6 feet out, and she has been true on all of her shots. 6-5 on 3 2-pointers by Kristen Berg. Beat Diggers have the lead back. They're in that 1-3-1 zone. Actually, it looks a little like a 1-2-2 depending on where the ball is. Left side is the Faith Christian. Working in there is Alex White. Again, she's trapped in the lane, and Guzman strips it away from her. And Guzman gets it quickly ahead to Emily Monarch. Back to Guzman up high. 4.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Beat Diggers up by 1. Driving the baseline is Nichols, and her shot is just a little too hard. Rebound White for Faith Christian. Faith Christian quickly down the floor, and Kristen Berg swats away a pass intended for Jenkins. Jordan Delorier checks in, as does Melissa Waylert, their first action of the afternoon. 4:24 to go in the opening quarter. Outside left corner is Chapman. Stolen away by Guzman. Gets it ahead to Waylert, but it's stolen away by Jenkins for Faith Christian. She takes it all the way herself over Berg, but no good, and the ball goes out of bounds. Last touched by the Diggers. 6-5. Brush leading Faith Christian. We're at the midway point of the first quarter. Just inside the arc and traveling, called on Jenkins, Carolyn Jenkins. That was a tough call, but a turnover. She must have taken an extra step before she went up for the shot. The officials today assigned out of Denver. And the Beat Diggers have the ball after the turnover, and it's swiped away from Guzman, and it's swiped by Abby Chapman, who goes all the way and lays it up and in pursuit is Guzman, who fouls her on the layup. So Guzman picks up her first personal foul. Chapman's layup puts the Eagles ahead by a point, and she'll be at the free throw line for the old-fashioned three-point play, and she converts. 8-6, Faith Christian. They've got that 1-2-1-1 full court press on, and a traveling call on Guzman in the backcourt. She went up to try to make a pass and came back down with the ball, called for the traveling. So Faith will throw it in under their own hoop. Right side is Rindles, and another traveling call up high on Abby Chapman as she tried to turn and square for a three-pointer, and again another turnover. Bringing it up the floor this time is Delorier. Back to Guzman. Delorier, left wing, low corner to Nichols. Swish for three! Carly Nichols with her first bucket. A three-pointer puts the Beat Diggers back ahead, 9-8. 3.5 minutes to go in this opening quarter. In the game now is Cambier wearing 00 for the Eagles. She throws it out of bounds, but swatted out of bounds by Delorier. Alex White checks back in for the Eagles. She's all by herself in the paint. Can't find a teammate to get it to her. Cambier, left side. And that's putting it up is Jenkins. Jenkins' shot is no good. Guzman comes down with the rebound and tipped out of bounds. Faith Christian fans thought they should get the ball. It went out of bounds, and they're going to say it was touched by one of the Eagles. The Faith Christian coach not at all happy about that either. And the Beat Diggers will throw it in front of their own bench. 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Brush with a 1-point lead. They almost lose the handle. Delorier, long cross-court pass to Nichols. Swish from three. She's found two of those from two different sides of the court. Biggest lead of the game for either team, 12-8. Diggers over the Eagles. 2:42 to go here in the opening quarter. Working against the zone pressure being put on by the Beat Diggers. A shot way off the mark, and the Beat Diggers come up with it and just inside the arc. Nichols is short that time. Ball is on the floor. Fought for. The officials come in. I assume they're going to call a jump ball. No one actually signaled it, but they are using the alternating possession arrow to put the ball in play. That favors the Eagles right now. 2:23 to go in the quarter. They have not started the clock. The play is continuing. Now they start the clock, and the Eagles throw it away. So a gift turnover to the Diggers. Coming in now is Emily Monarch, and Alex White check back in for the Diggers. 2:15 to go here in the opening quarter. Brush with their biggest lead so far, 12-8. A pair of three-pointers by Nichols. Shot by Kennedy from 10 feet from the left baseline is a little too hard. Eagles with the rebound. Hegarty inside to, who is that just got, Rindles was trying to go up, went down kind of hard as she tried to do the turnaround on that feed from Abigail Hegarty. The foul is whistled on Alex White. Her first, second on the Beat Diggers. And Rindle's free throw is no good. She'll have a second. Bailey Craich will check in for the first time this afternoon. Guzman will get a rest alongside Coach George. And now the second free throw by Rindles is up and good. And another substitute coming in. That's Brooklyn Long checking in for the free throw shooter. Now the full court press again that the Eagles have had on just about all of this first quarter. The Beat Diggers break it easily. Down on the baseline is Craich. Outside to White, who makes a bad pass to the Eagles. Intercept, take it down the floor, miss a layup. Follow-up no good by Hegarty for the Eagles. And a foul on the rebound on Faith Christian. Carson Cambier whistled for her first foul, second on the Eagles. Both teams have 2 team fouls. We've got a minute and a half left to go in the opening quarter. Going all the way to the hoop is Emily Monarch. Her layup is short. Rebound, Eagles. 12-9. Brush leading. Reverse layup. That was a pretty looking play by Abby Chapman. And on the press, the Eagles steal it away. A layup by Rindles is no good. Brush with the rebound. Taking it down the floor and putting it up from the free throw line is White. Her shot off the glass. Didn't draw any rim. That previous basket by Faith made it 12-11. Here's a shot just inside the three-point line. Rimming off no good for the Eagles. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touched by Brush on the rebounding action. Okay, Kristen Berg checks back in. Carly Nichols is back in. And Kennedy Guzman, after a little breather, is back in. So Carly Nichols has a pair of three-pointers. See if she can heat back up after she comes off the bench. Abigail Hagerty with her first hoop on the inbounds pass for the Eagles puts Faith Christian back ahead, 13-12. So a 5-0 run here by Faith, almost a travel in the backcourt. Brush, after turning it over, putting some pressure on in the backcourt. Faith Christian beats it. We're down to a half a minute left. Down underneath is Hagerty, off the glass and good. 2 quick buckets for Abigail Hagerty gives the Eagles a 3-point lead, 15-12. Brush breaks the timeline with 22 seconds to go in the quarter. Berg on the baseline, tries to get it out to Guzman. Ball on the floor, goes out of bounds, and a timeout. Wow, that's a break for the Eagles. They had lost the ball, but they're going to say their coach called timeout before it got away from them. Coach George is questioning that call, but they're giving them a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here. 15.7 seconds left to go in the quarter. The Eagles able to save a turnover there with that timeout. They lead it 15-12 in a game that's gone back and forth. The Eagles with the first points. Then the teams traded leads. Brush built up the biggest lead by either team in the game. That was a 4-point lead, 12-8 just moments ago, and now they're down 15-12. So Faith will throw it in front of their own bench. 15 seconds to go in the quarter, and they've still got it in the backcourt. 10, 9. Now they just crossed the timeline just now. It's Abigail Chapman, Abby Chapman to Cambier. Her three-pointer is no good. Rebound fought for. Brush pulls it away, but time expires to end the first quarter. After 1 quarter of play for the right to go to the grade 8, it's Faith Christian over Brush, 15-12. Back after this on KSIR and KSIR.com. Brush will have the opening possession here in the second quarter by virtue of the alternating possession arrow. Kristen Berg puts it up from 12, rimming off, no good. Ball on the floor. Kennedy Guzman comes up with it. She tries to kick it out. It's stolen away. Stepping into that passing lane was Brooklyn Long. Faith Christian with a layup at the other end is good by Abby Chapman. She had 8 points in the first quarter. She's in double figures now, and the 5-point lead for Faith Christian, the biggest by either team in the game. Brush is led by 4. This is Faith's biggest lead. 3-point attempt from the corner, no good by Nichols. Gets her own rebound, follows it up from just outside the paint. Great play by Carly Nichols. She had a pair of trays in the first quarter, missed that one, alertly followed it up and put it in. Cuts the lead to 3. Now Faith puts up a shot that misses. They try to save it back in bounds. The Beat Diggers come up with it. Emily Monarch gets it across the timeline. That's Berg from the left baseline. Her shot off. Faith Christian with the rebound. On the break, off the rebound. And that's Hagerty goes up for the layup. It's no good, but she's going to the free throw line. So Abigail, we've got Abby Chapman, Abigail Hagerty. She had a couple of field goals in the first quarter. She'll be at the free throw line after getting fouled on that layup by Emily Monarch. That's Emily's first. Neither team with too many fouls. That's only the third team foul on the Diggers. First free throw by Hagerty is good. She'll have another. That made it 18-14, and the second one makes it 19-14. So again, a 5-point lead for the Eagles, and they continue to put on a full court press. This is, it looks like a man-to-man press, and Brush almost doesn't get it in. The Faith Christian fans were hollering for a 5-second count, and now Hagerty fouls Berg in the backcourt. We're still a long way from the bonus. That official is Rad Carter from Denver. You may remember him. He lived out in this area a number of years ago. And that's the third team foul on the Faith Christian. Now Nichols in the paint. Off-balance shot, no good. Rebound on the floor, fought for. Faith Christian comes up with it, but Emily Monarch steals it away on the pass. Guzman almost travels. Yeah, she does get called for the traveling. That pivot foot went down just before she got the pass away. Turnover, Diggers. So a nice steal there by Emily Monarch, but Diggers not able to convert. They trail it by 5, 19-14. Faith Christian girls lead Brush here at Brush High School. And a nice move, a fake one-way, turn around and bucket by Abigail Hegarty. And now another turnover on the Diggers right at the timeline. Kennedy Guzman called for a traveling. Still time to get over here to Brush High School. Brush earning the right to host this set of games here. And the winner of this one goes on to the Grade 8 in Fort Collins on Thursday. If you're nearby, head over to Brush High School and root on the Beat Diggers. We'll have the boys' game on the radio a little bit later this afternoon. Hegarty goes to the hoop, and she's fouled by Berg. So Hegarty, who converted a pair just a minute ago, will be at the line to shoot 2 more. 21-14. After that Hegarty basket on the previous possession. Biggest lead of the ball game for Faith Christian. That one is in and out from the free throw line. Hegarty's looking at her hands. It's like, what did you do wrong there? It wasn't me. It was those fingertips. Second one rattles in. So that makes it 22-14. And the full court press giving the Beat Diggers some problems here. They still haven't gotten it across. Bad pass laying on the floor and almost stolen away. Fortunately for the Diggers, knocked out of bounds by Faith Christian. That will give Brush a new 10-second count. 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. Faith Christian leading Brush 22-14. Guzman gets it across the timeline, dribbling it right-handed, has it stripped from behind and stolen away by Jenkins. Jenkins brings it left-handed all the way down the floor, and she's fouled on the layup attempt. That foul is on Emily Monarch, her second, I do believe, in close succession, and Coach George wants to call a timeout. We'll take it with him. There's 5:51 left to go here in the second quarter. Faith Christian girls leading Brush by the score of 22-14. Back after this on KSIR and KSIR.com. Alec Creighton back at Brush High School. We're early in the second quarter, and Coach George calling a timeout. The Beat Diggers need to figure out how to solve this full court press. It's led to a number of turnovers here. Brush trailed at the end of the quarter 15-12, but they've been outscored here in the second quarter, which is barely over a minute old. They've been outscored 7-2 here in the second quarter. We're just 2 minutes here into the second quarter. 5:51 to go, and at the free throw line for the Eagles, shooting a couple. First one is rimming off badly, no good. At the line is Carolyn Jenkins. It's her first trip to the free throw line. And that one's also off the back of the rim, no good. But Faith Christian gets the rebound. Long puts it up left-handed, no good. And Nichols pulls down the rebound for the Diggers. No pressure after the missed shot. So Guzman almost loses the handle, bounces off her foot, gets it back. White has it. Now up high to Berg. Berg turns around, drives to the right side lane, kicks it out to Guzman. Guzman dribbling there against Jenkins. Now it's Emily Monarch, almost has it swatted away, dribbles left-handed toward the hoop, and she is fouled. She is called for traveling as she tries to take a shot. That traveling apparently happened right as she stopped her dribble. 22-14. The Eagles lead the Diggers. Faith Christian and Brush, and a traveling call on the Diggers. I should say on the Eagles. That was Carolyn Jenkins, who lost her balance as she was trying to pass it off. She wasn't even defended and just stumbled over her own feet as she tried to pass it off. Now Guzman picks up her dribble up high, left side to White. Now down low to Nichols, tries to drive the baseline, goes out of bounds, off of Faith Christian. So Brush will get to throw it in on their own baseline. 5:01 left to go here in the first half. Guzman looking for a teammate, finds Berg, who shoots it up immediately. gets only the glass. That was high off the glass. Faith Christian with the rebound quickly down the other direction, and Hegarty travels as she tried to start a dribble on the left baseline. So right back to the Diggers. Brush trailing 22-14. They only have that one Carly Nichols basket here in the half, and on the throw-in, it's thrown away. Brooklyn Long intercepted the pass but traveled as she had to go high to catch that. So we won't call that a turnover on either team. Guzman has it in the backcourt, working against some token man-to-man pressure. She gets past Jenkins, dribbles into the baseline. Berg has it stripped away as she tried to turn and shoot. Jenkins quickly the other direction for the Eagles. She's trapped in the corner, gets it out to Rendles. Rendles right corner to Long, and the Eagles turn it over. They lose it out of bounds in the far corner. 4:34 to go here in the first quarter, or first half, I should say. Faith Christian leading Brush 22-14. Brush beat Bennett last night, and Faith Christian beat University to earn the right to be in this ball game. Brush knocks it, has it knocked away in the backcourt. Earlier, Faith was playing a 1-2-1-1 full court pressure. Now they're playing man-to-man full court pressure. Brush having trouble getting it in. They beat the 5-second count, but they need to be able to get it up the floor. Nichols dribbles it left-handed, gets it across the timeline, picks up her dribble. Now Berg on the baseline and tries to feed it into Kennedy in the paint, but Faith Christian comes up with it. They lose it. Ball's on the floor. Scramble for the ball leads to a tie-up, and Faith Christian has the alternating possession arrow. Neither team has scored since that timeout. It's still 22-14. Brush called that timeout. At least it stopped the scoring, but it hasn't turned into any offense for the Diggers. Now on the baseline, it's good. Cassandra Rendles with a bucket. Makes it 24-14, and we've got another timeout. So the Beat Diggers now trail it by 10 with 4:03 left to go in this opening half. And another timeout to try to figure out how to not let this game get out of hand. The Diggers led 12-8. And since that time, it's been all Faith Christian. So Faith Christian has scored, 16 points to Brush's 2. So it's a 16-2 run, and the biggest lead of the game for either team. It's 24-14. Brush will throw it in under the Faith Christian bucket. They get it in, but now they have to break that man-to-man pressure. Guzman dribbling right-handed in front of the scores table, gets it across the timeline. Feed inside to Berg. That was from Delorier, swatted out of bounds by the Eagles. Today's game brought to you in part by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance in both Brush and Fort Morgan for home, health, auto, and farm and business insurance. The Diggers throw it in from under their own hoop. Now a long three-point attempt is good by Emily Monarch. Her first bucket of the ball game couldn't have come at a better time. That's a three-pointer that makes it 24-17. Just start slicing away at that lead. There's 3:33 left to go in the quarter. Turnaround by Hegarty at the free throw line is good. So Hegarty answers quickly. She's in double figures for the Eagles, the only player in double figures on either team. Guzman, left-handed down the left side of the paint, and a foul called on, I believe it's Hegarty. No, it's on Cambier. Her second personal, fourth on the Eagles. Brush has 5 team fouls. So 3 minutes, 18 seconds left to go in the half, and we're still at least a foul away from the bonus. Couple fouls away in both cases. Brush will throw it in under their own hoop. That's Guzman, has it above her head, looking, still looking, throws it in. Ball's on the floor, stolen away by the Eagles. 2-on-1 break. And, oh my goodness, that's a tough call on the play. That was Abby Chapman, who went all the way. She had an awkward move, thought she would pass it off, and she collided with a Beat Digger and a blocking call. And see, the Faith Christian people want the want a shooting foul, which if she was shooting, maybe it was, but she was passing it off, and that was on Nichols, her first. Faith Christian throws it out of bounds. Now that was probably could have been called a foul on Carly Nichols, wasn't, and the Beet Diggers will get the ball to boot. So maybe things all work out in the end. So Brush will throw it in under their own hoop. Close to a 5-second count, just beat the clock. Now they're trying to get it across the timeline. Kennedy Guzman gets it across half court easily as we hit the 3-minute mark to go in the first half. Guzman takes it all the way down the paint, goes to the hoop. She's fouled. And she'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Abigail Higgerty called for the foul, her second. And Guzman's first trip to the free throw line. And she gets her first point of the afternoon with another one upcoming. Now Melissa Waylert will check back in. She's coming in for Nichols. Melissa will take a spot behind the arc, and Emily Monarch will take the spot on the free throw lane. And Kennedy Guzman converts on a pair of free throws. So that makes it 28-19. Got it down to double digits and almost stolen away by Delorier, but Faith Christian gets it back, but leads to the travel on Brooklyn Long. So almost stolen away by Jordan Delorier. We'll give her credit for forcing that turnover. Brush can trim the lead even further. It's 28-19 right now. But they turn it over. Faith Christian coming back the other direction. Pulling up just outside the arc. And now passing it inside. Now the ball is on the floor. That's Jenkins, who thought about that three-pointer. She's got it again. Dribbling, unguarded, or not much pressure on the perimeter. 2:22 to go in the opening half. Going to the hoop is Pruitt. That's Caitlin Pruitt. We haven't called her name yet. She just checked in. She's going to be going to the free throw line. Her first trip down the floor. She's going to go shoot 2, and that's the third personal foul on Emily Monarch, and Emily will have to check out. So 3 relatively quick fouls for Emily Monarch. First free throw, no good. Pruitt will have another. I said 28 before. It was 26. But the pair of free throws by Pruitt makes it 28-19. Brush gets it in. Working against full court pressure, again being put on by Faith Christian as they've done this entire half. Guzman all the way through down the court into the lane, puts up a shot, no good. Ball on the floor. Brush picks it up. Now Nichols diving on the floor to try to get it, and a whistle. I think we're going to call a jump. We've got kind of a tangle down on the floor. I think the arrow points the Brush direction. We can't see it from where we're sitting. Okay, they got the tangle untangled, and still trying to decide who gets the ball. Brush wants to take it right under their own hoop, but they're saying no, it has to be out here further toward the edge where the tie-up happened. Kennedy Guzman will do the throw-in duties. 2:02 to go here in the second quarter. A nice pass underneath to Jordan Delorier, partially blocked, follow-up by Berg, and she's going to go to the free throw line. Her shot missed, but she was fouled. Pruitt called for the foul. And Kristen Berg will shoot a pair. She had 6 points in the first quarter. Hasn't scored here in the second quarter. And off the back of the rim, no good. 28-19. Faith Christian leading the Brush girls. The boys will play at 2:45 in Eaton. We'll have that game on the radio a little later this afternoon. Kristen's second free throw good. Makes it 28-20. Faith Christian down the floor quickly. That's Rindles. Thinks about a three-pointer. Off to Long, who shoots a three-pointer. No good. Berg rips down the rebound. Ahead to Delorier. She gets it across the timeline. They don't have the numbers, so they pull up, and then that's Nichols in the left corner. Back outside to Guzman. It's good. She goes down after she shot it. but she fell down on her own. That's a big three-pointer for Kennedy Guzman. Makes it 28-23. The lead is trimmed to 5. Shot no good by the Eagles. Follow up by Brooklyn Long. No good. Rebound pulled down by Berg. The Diggers have some momentum now. They've trimmed that lead to 5. They trailed by as many as, I believe it was 12. It was at least 10. Now it's a minute 15 to go, and Berg underneath off the glass and good, fed by Kennedy Guzman. The Diggers are right back into this thing. Nice pass by Guzman. Way to finish it up by Berg, and it's 28-25. 1 minute left to go here in the quarter, in the first half. Thinking about the three-pointer is Long. Off to Chapman, and she is called for an offensive foul as she goes around the corner and knocks down Guzman. Tried to make the turn there at the free throw line. Turnover, Eagles. And the Faith Christian bench can't believe it. Now Faith Christian pulls off the press. They're going to fall back and just pick up at half court. That foul was an offensive foul on Brooklyn Long. It's her second personal. Beat Diggers don't get to shoot on the offensive foul. 50 seconds to go in the opening half. Diggers right back in this thing, trailing by 3. Guzman drives the paint, loses the handle, ball on the floor, picked up by Faith Christian. 43 seconds to go. They move it down the floor quickly. 1-on-3 break pretty much. Now thinking about a three-pointer is Cambier. Now that's Rendles. She goes up and she is fouled. Oh, she's called for the traveling. Looked like her arm got hooked, but she traveled before the contact. Turnover back to the Diggers. Half a minute to go in the opening half. Brush could tie it with a three-pointer here, trailing at 28-25. Delorier takes it all the way herself down the baseline. Shot no good. Berg tries to get the rebound. Delorier with the follow-up. No good, but she's going to the line. The Faith Christian bench is frustrated. 18 seconds left to go here in the half, the first half. And Delorier will be shooting 2. She was fouled by Cambier, who has 3 personal fouls. First free throw by Delorier is good, her first point. Cambier checks out for the Eagles. Emily Monarch on the Brush bench with 3 fouls. Second free throw in and out, no good. Rebound Faith Christian, 15 seconds to go in the quarter. Brush down by 2. Faith Christian with 10 seconds to work with. They're working the perimeter. Man-to-man pressure being put on the perimeter. Looks like a triangle and 2 type of situation. Ball gets away on the floor, and a foul in the final second will send Carly Nichols to the free throw line. Not a real smart foul by the Eagles as they fouled in the final second, 80 feet away from the Brush basket. With the clock stopped, we get to walk down to the other end, and Carly Nichols could tie this up at halftime if she converts on the 1-and-1. There is half a second showing on the scoreboard clock. 28-26, Faith Christian leading Brush. Girls action, the winner goes to the Great 8 next Thursday. The first free throw is good, and the Bee Diggers have pulled themselves all the way back. They're within 1 with another Carly Nickel free throw coming up before the intermission buzzer. Can she do it? She had a pair of trays in the first quarter, a field goal and a free throw here in the second quarter. And the second one is rimming off no good, and time expires. But the Bee Diggers came all the way back. They trailed by double digits. They're within a single point at halftime. It's Faith Christian 28, the Brush girls 27 here at Brush High School. We'll invite you one more time if you're anywhere nearby. We've got 10 minutes on the halftime clock. Come on over to Brush High School. Root on the Lady Bee Diggers in the second half of the ball game here. We will have the boys game coming up at 2:45. They are in Eaton, and they'll be taking on the Eaton Reds. John Beltran and Jen Goodall at that ball game. I'm Alec Creighton, enjoying the heck out of this game here at Brush High School. The Brush Lady Beat Diggers earning the right to host this set of games. There were 2 games here last night. The Faith Christian Eagles beat University, and the Beat Diggers beat Bennett to earn their right into this ball game. The winner goes to Fort Collins on Thursday. And we have a heck of a ball game going on here. It is halftime. Faith Christian leading Brush 28-27. Back after this break on KSIR and KSIR.com.